In 2023, a crack commando unit of retro podcasters joined forces on a panel at LA Comic-Con, but were sent to Comic-Con jail for a crime they didn't commit. These men promptly escaped. Today, still wanted by 80s nerds, they are very easy to find. If you have an 80s nostalgia problem, if no one else can help, maybe you can hire the Night Boyz.
Thought I told you guys no skateboarding in my district.
This isn't skateboarding, Sergeant. This is carrying skateboard. This is skateboarding.
Being cool, you'll find, is a state of mind. A refreshing attitude. Things get hot. Cool is all you got. And doing it country cool. Mountain Dew. So chill on out when the heat comes on. With the cool smooth Mountain Dew. Doing it country cool. Mountain Dew. Doing it country cool.
It's 80s Kids Unite. We're back. It's me and Corey and our day for night boy, Wayne Megatrain.
What's going on, everybody?
Oh my gosh. So this is coming off the heels of our last episode, which was all about bike culture in the 80s.
That's right.
And Corey
all about biker scout culture. If you listen, you know what I'm talking about.
You always got to bring it back to Star Wars.
Always,
It always
baby.
comes back to the biker scouts.
Yeah.
I mean, I got no problem with that. I'm just saying.
It's about the pouches. They had pouches. They had really
Yes.
good.
I know. Wayne and I were talking about that on our thread the other day.
You guys
It's all
go.
about the
I'll be
pouches,
back.
baby. sorry, Zach. But we do need to do a comic book episode one day and talk about pouches, though.
So I want to remind everybody, this is a Patreon-powered show. You suggest the topics. Corey is a Patreon member of $2 late fee. So is Wayne. And so they bring up these topics. I'm like, let's do this. Let's go for this. But every now and then things happen on either our respective shows, Podcasting After Dark or $2 late fee or Flip City Podcast with Wayne, where we bring up something to talk about. And we're like, we should really bring this to 80s Kids Unite. So
Hell yeah.
Wayne, so Corey and I, a couple months back, we always backload our interviews. We did an interview with Robert McGinley. Robert McGinley is a true avant-garde filmmaker. He's a director, writer, actor, musician, and he made a movie called Shredder Orpheus in the 80s. It's a skateboard movie kind of surrounded by Greek mythology.
Yeah. It's almost a
Yes.
retelling of Greek mythology through skateboard culture in a post-apocalyptic world. It's very wild.
As one
Very,
does.
very cool.
That's awesome.
It really is. And Corey and I were like, how do we, being an avant-garde film, avant-garde director, because the director, we did the interview with Robert and the interview was fantastic.
Oh, super nice guy. Super chill dude.
And we're like, how do we frame this? When do we release this? How do we make it make sense? And I thought, let's do an episode on 80s Kids United about skateboard culture, tease that upcoming interview, which you'll hear and see a week after this one drops.
Yeah.
It's fascinating and it certainly covers all the bases. But skateboarding was the theme throughout that movie. And I thought, skateboarding in the 80s was like the rebel version of a bike, right? It was like the cool guy version.
Yeah. And we had skateboarding apparel, skateboarding toys, skateboarding video games. I mean, we're going to talk about it all, but skateboarding was huge in the 80s. We talk about ninja culture and BMX culture. There was just all these little subcultures in the 80s that were just so prevalent, I mean, and skateboarding was one of them. Whether I could skate or not as a little fat kid didn't matter. I still wanted to be a part of that culture.
Corey, what was the first thing you saw that made you think of skateboarding or go, oh my God, that looks so cool, I want to do that?
Well, That I was not expecting that question. I don't know what
Sorry.
like my first
Wayne.
thing.
Oh, I know.
But I'll tell you what I had and what I sort of experienced with it. The skateboard that I had was one of those. I guess it was Santa Cruz, so it had the hand, the cut off hand with the mouth on it.
Yeah.
You remember those?
Yeah.
And I mean,
Yeah.
I probably got the thing when I was like 8 or 9. So I didn't know anything about Santa Cruz skateboarding. I just thought the logo was super cool. So I would, ride that around my little suburban neighborhood and I would ride it on my knees like a whore because I couldn't
Wow.
stand.
I was not expecting you to go there.
I was a fat nerd. I was a fat little nerd. I mean, I didn't.
I thought you say
I'm not
on your knees.
coordinated.
I thought you were gonna say on your knees like Eddie Murphy in Trading Places.
No, but I had seen that movie, by the way, in the theater, and that blew my mind. Zach and I talked about that when we reviewed Eddie, Trading Places. That episode's probably not even on Spotify anymore, sadly.
Nope.
So, anyways, so I would ride around on my little skateboard, Santa Cruz skateboard, on my knees, and it wasn't as thrilling because obviously that's not as cool. But what I loved the most was the apparel, and I loved everything by Town and Country, T&C Surf Design. They were a surfboard and skateboard, branding, whatever. They had really cool characters. They had these like mascot characters, Thrilla Gorilla, Cool Cat, Joe Cool, Tiki Man. They had the cool like yin yang symbol, but it was like, neon pink and blue and everything. It was so freaking awesome. As a kid, I loved it. It was almost like walking around with like a cartoon on your shirt, and smartly they licensed their designs and everything to LJN for a video game that came out in 1988 called T&C Surf Design Wood and Water Rage. Everyone just called it the T&C game, basically. You know what I mean? And the game itself, this is how I engaged with skateboarding, was through video games. So I would play they had 3 game modes. They had Street Skate Session, Big Wave Encounter, and Wood and Water Rage, which was a mixed event. You'd play one or the other, against your friends and everything. And I loved the skateboarding part the most. I thought that was a lot of fun. And yeah, that was like my engagement with skateboarding. I didn't watch Thrashin or Gleaming the Cube a lot as a kid because it was mostly just horror, action, and sci-fi movies for me. So yeah, that was it. I mean, but at the same time, like they're going to discuss, we were just surrounded by skateboarding culture everywhere, whether we were posers like me, or the real deal, which maybe one of you guys were. But yeah, you could not escape the 80s without wearing some sort of skateboarding outfit, having a skateboard, whether you could use it or not, or playing one of these video games that I'm sure Wayne's going to bring another one up. So yeah, it was everywhere.
Yeah, I will say you touched briefly on the fact that the skateboard that you had, the Santa Cruz one, if you look at skate decks, were pieces of art, and where on a bicycle you couldn't really represent your artistic vibes, right?
There
because
wasn't enough.
You would get
surface
the
space.
honeycomb cereal license plate, and that would be it.
That's the best you could do. Yeah.
Oh my God, totally, with your name on it, and then people are like,
Yeah.
"Good, now strangers know your name." Hey, Corey, your mom got hurt. You need to come with me in my sketchy white van. But skateboards were so rad, like everything from Tony Hawk and Steve Caballero and Tony Alva, like these artistic decks. Or if you were like a noob like me, we got your Veriflex board at Toys R Us, which was so cheesy, and people were like, "What? That board sucks!" And you're like, "Well, but it's the only thing that my parents could afford," because skateboard decks were pretty expensive back in the day, and all the accessories too, just like bikes were too.
Yeah, because you could buy new wheels for it. You could swap out the wheels and get I remember they had I don't know, glow in the dark, neon. It was awesome colors. I mean, my God, I love 80s colors and early 90s,
Oh, yeah, and what you're hitting on with T&C, I mean, really quickly, who is your favorite of those characters in the T&C lineup?
Thrilla Gorilla, absolutely. And I think that they're putting out new toys. Somebody's putting them out, maybe Super 7 or something. So I'm definitely on the lookout for that.
Yeah, I believe the artist who did those passed away a couple years ago.
Shit.
Sadly, rest in peace to him. But I mean, Tiki was my favorite, and he was a skateboarder of all the guys. So
yeah.
Wayne,
who was your favorite?
Yeah,
I was both. I was literally going to say the Tiki and Thrilla Gorilla, because first off, he's a monkey. I mean, come on. And he had the perfect hat. It was the one with the little flaps in the back.
Dude, I love those hats.
dude.
Yeah.
There's like a painter hat. It was like a painter hat with yeah.
Oh, and it was just so, I'm like, come on, how cool could you get? And that's the kind of stuff that you would just draw, because I was a drawer as a kid. And so it's like the margins of my homework, everything, you know, had stuff. And so it's like, especially when I had the video game, because I had that video game, Corey, and, you know, and I'm playing it. And then I have to like, oh, I gotta draw this cover, you know, and I would redraw the cover and just have that there. It's like, come on, like those are things. But I was actually a fan of the surf games on that particular game. There was a handful of games that came out around the same time that were like skateboard / surf. Remember California games? Yeah.
Wow, you literally said it at the same time.
If you can keep on top of these California games, you'll know you're incredible. 6 great fun-in-the-sun games for your Nintendo. Roller skating, foot bag, totally awesome skateboarding. BMX racing, so exciting. Oh, it's like the real deal. Master all 6. You'll be like king of the beach. California games for your Nintendo.
And you know, they had like, and that one had like an element of skateboard stuff. But that wasn't the case like for me. For me,
yeah, please.
First off, skateboarding, like that, the thing that set it off for me was Marty McFly. Marty McFly in Back to the Future made the skateboard cool to me. And I was like, well, I want to be like Marty McFly. I want to get that. And one of the things that it's common now, right? The shape of skateboards. But the shape of skateboards in the 70s were these little banana boards, right? These little tiny, you know, boards look like they were like banana shaped, right? They just kind of look like a little mini surfboard. And then it was in the 80s that they got fat, like me, right? And so it was just like
and me.
They got nice and thick, and so that you could pull off tricks and all that kind of stuff. And that was when I saw Marty McFly, you know, hanging onto the back of a Jeep, which you're not supposed to do, you know, kind of coasting through. I was like, I want to do this. And then the linchpin for me was moving to Florida. So when I moved to Florida from New Jersey, it was a chance to kind of reinvent myself, you know, a chance to be a little bit different. So I kind of started associating with the kids that were mainly into like the skateboarding and all that. And so I remember having, you know, I don't have any hair now, but I used to have like a mop cut, right? And I remember going and telling my parents, like, I want to get a surfer cut, you know, basically I want to shave the sides of my head and then like have a little like mushroom in the back of it, right? And that was a big deal, like a little thing, like a little scoop in the back.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You either had a rounded off back of hair, or you had it come down in like a V.
I had a rat tail though. I had a rat tail.
Oh, you were like too. Sting from WCW, man.
Yeah,
I wasn't allowed to have a rat tail. I was I was allowed to get the surfer cut though, and that was a big decision too. Do I get the rounded off edge or do I get the V? And so that was the thing for me. I got the V cut, and that was it. Like I started wearing Vision streetwear. That was the first time I had like name brand clothes.
Vision, yeah, they made Vision was they made those 6 shoes.
They did, and I had well, I didn't get the shoes. I had the Bobo shoes, but I had checkerboard shorts. You know, like the checkerboard stuff, and like the T-shirt that looked like splatter paint, and like that was the cool thing. But the caveat was I had a skateboard, I could ride the skateboard, but I was an indoor kid. I was 100% an indoor kid, so I played skate or die. And that was my video game, my skating video game of choice.
I'm the creator of Ultra games for Nintendo, like Metal Gear, where you're a commando searching for deadly weapons. Defender of the Crown, with strategic castle sieges, raids and destroyers, and skate or die. In 5 rad events that pit you against a friend or bionic Lester, so check out Ultra games. Remember, I'm never farther than your TV.
I think you had like the choice of like 5 or 6 different events in Skate or Die. It had this 8-bit soundtrack that sounded like it could have been metal. It was like you're just going through. You're riding the skateboard to the event that you want to do. So if you want to do the half pipe or the high jump or a race. And I think there was like another one where you like, one of them was like you were versus somebody else. You had to like pick your opponent and like hope they fell through a manhole. Like it was just one of those things. And they even had like you go to the skate shop to put your name on the list and check your scores after every event. And I remember like that the skate shop owner looked like Rodney Dangerfield, but with a purple mohawk or something. And Skate or Die was like, you can't play it now. It's like you play it now, and it's just, I tried playing it like on an emulator, and it's like it didn't translate well. But back then, that was the thing. I was like, anytime I wanted to kind of get my skating groove off and not be the poser that I really was, I'd pop that in.
Well, it's like one of my main memories of Skate or Die is from the arcades.
Yes.
And the cabinet would announce skate or die.
Right.
Like just randomly just throw it out. So it's like one of these like auditory memories that I have of being in the arcade. And I never played it because I knew it's like I looked at it and I was like, I have limited quarters and I know I'm not going to be good at this. So I'm going to play something else like Operation Wolf or something like that.
Oh yeah.
But like hearing all the sounds and everything from the arcade and the music that's playing and everything, but then you'd hear just randomly that cabinet would go off, skate or die, and I'm just like, whoa, it's like where's that coming from? It's like it's crazy, but it's just it's a memory. It did its job because I always like looked over at it and then I was like, no, I can't play you Skate or Die. You're gonna beat me. I'm gonna die. I won't do it.
Well, Skate or Die to me was the cool game to play for
the cool kid game.
The only kids that play, like the kids that played that were the ones who normally didn't play video games because they were too badass. They were outside actually exercising, unlike the three of us.
They were the skaters. They were the actual skaters.
But occasionally they roll up in the arcade and play,
I just remember like it's in the half pipe game, especially, it was just, there was no skill involved. It was, you hit down when you're going down, you hit up when you're going up. And so basically it was like my fine motor skills test, and that was it. And it was just like, oh, okay, I'm doing it. And you didn't really know why you got points. You just got points. And that was the thing. But the skate culture part of it was the fact that it was like the being able to hang out with people, like, get the skateboard. I knew enough to like not completely embarrass myself, but I do remember that it was like getting on my knees like you did, Corey, and like pedaling it just so you can kind of, get to where you're going faster. That was definitely the norm because I'm like, I don't know how to navigate these sidewalks. If there's one crack on the sidewalk, there's gonna be a crack in my skull in a second, So I just knew enough to get around in a parking lot, but not for like transportation. That's what the bike was for.
I tried to go off a curb one time from the sidewalk to the road. I was on my knees and the board just stopped like halfway. I went face first into the concrete. I had scabs on my forehead, nose, and like lip because I was such a fat kid. I didn't even put my hands up to protect myself. It just happened so quickly. And I think after that, I kind of retired my skateboard, but I was on my knees. I was not standing at all.
Oh,
and it's sadly, if I was standing, I probably would have had more time to react because
Yes.
when I'm so close to the ground at that point, I just went, guys and gals, face down, ass up.
It's like a cartoon, and like the ground is like adding up to you while you're going through there.
I mean, that's the threat that came out of, because, okay, let's be honest. We weren't wearing elbow pads, helmets, and knee pads.
Nothing.
Those were for dorks back in the day. The dorks did that.
Yeah.
Those were for people with money. Like I had no money. Like it was
true. That's true too. Yeah. Yeah. But the skateboard was like, it seemed like it was more dangerous than the bike, which is kind of mind blowing to me because it's easier to get off of. The bike, it's like you had to get on this thing. But how often did we crash and burn on our bike versus how often did we crash and burn on a skateboard? Probably more times on the skateboard. But I will say the idiocracy jackass culture came out of skateboarding too, because those tapes, kids would trade skateboarding tapes like crazy.
Right.
That was a big craze in the 80s. Also, the VHS tapes. We had a local, I lived in California in 84, starting in 84, moving forward. So I was in kind of the mecca of where skateboarding really took off, right?
Yes.
And obviously here in Santa Monica, I'm 2 blocks away from Dogtown Coffee, which is like the birthplace of all skateboarding. But living in the Bay Area, we had a California Surfer skate and surf shop, and with a guy named we called him Barnacle Joe because he had psoriasis and on his arms.
Poor bastard.
Yeah, so we called him Barnacle.
Kids are so
kids
evil.
are jerks. Kids are jerks.
That's a creative name though.
It is creative.
Good.
Yeah,
It's
I don't know
catchy.
who coined that. But my brother was a big skateboarder, so I watched him, emulated him, wanted to be like him, and then he broke his leg, and I stopped wanting to be a skateboarder like him after that because I'm like, nope, I don't want any injuries ever.
Too real.
Did you witness it happen? Did you see it? Like, did you see the break happen?
No, but we lived up on. We had a big hill from our school to our home, and obviously going up was hard going up. Coming down was like the skateboard slide, very similar to the movie Thrashin from '86, where Josh Brolin's character Corey, his name's Corey. He's going down this crazy road. I think my brother probably wanted to, recreate that, so to speak, and he busted his leg. And I just remember him being in a cast and being like, I'm not going to do that. I don't want to be that kid. Who wants to get injured, right? And I wasn't that kind of skate or die attitude of like, oh yeah, that's cool. I was like, no, I just want to play with my toys. So I stopped skating at that point. I did skate for a while. I could stand up, but I was like, nope, I'm done. Late. And I had a Verifex board, which was like, Toys R Us. It was a goof. It was like one step above, Wayne, the plastic board that you talked about, the original ones from the early 80s. Same with me, like Marty McFly made skateboarding cool in the 80s, right? And Corey, you mentioned other skateboard movies like Thrashin', Gleaming the Cube, but Police Academy 4, the best scene in Police Academy 4 is the skateboard scene.
Is that Citizens on Patrol?
It is.
Yes.
I saw that in the theater with my dad.
Dude, that movie, and I will say for everyone watching and listening, it's probably the tamest of all the Police Academy movies, the best and tamest. You know what I mean? There's only one wet T-shirt contest in it, and that's. But the skateboard scene, it's David Spade and Brian Backer, who is Rat in Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Right.
But it's like, Lance Mountain is one of the skateboarders, and I believe might have been Steve Caballero was the other skateboarder that doubled for them. I could be wrong on that. But that scene is great because it's a music montage scene, and they're going through malls and all sorts of cool things. And the song that plays in it's called "Shoot from the Top." Shoot for the top by Southern Pacific. That song is a banger. It will guaranteed it's going to go on mixtape soundtracks.
But Wayne, like being an East Coaster and having skateboarding be so very West Coast, it always had this like air of sort of like, oh, it's from a different area. Like, like if I know about it, I might be cooler than the people around me. Did that kind of permeate with you too?
Yeah, well, it did because it was like for us, it was like it was like a magazine thing. So it was kind of like when you were in school, and no, I mean, like you weren't allowed to skateboard in school, you weren't allowed to like do all these things. So it really was about like poser culture, right? Because like we would just kind of huddle up together and like here's your here's Thrashin', here's your your skateboard magazines, you're flipping through, you're like, oh, I want that, or oh, I could do that, and you're really just kind of talking about skating with all your friends, and like you're just kind of like showing each other stuff. And the same thing with like the video games was like, I remember I had the T&C and the Skate or Die cover posters. So like I would get those and I would put those up, or I'd rip them out of the magazines and I'd stick that, and my walls were full of things I couldn't do. You know what I mean? I had surf posters, I had skateboard posters, I had pro wrestling posters, up. These are all things that I like couldn't do myself.
Was your wall labeled things I can't do? Was that
that was my bedroom? The door was just
the poster of Heather Locklear on there.
Things I can't do.
It was just one of those things where like that was the culture, and then like everything you saw on TV about it. So it's really kind of like, really for everybody on that side of the country, it was all poser culture, because we're all going like, I wish we could do this. I wish we could go, there was no hills in Florida. Like there was nothing like, it was maybe a parking lot, that I can like do. And my career ended, Zach, when my skateboard broke. And there was no way my parents were going to get me another one. I tried to do a trick. And
did your fat ass break it?
He could say that, everybody, because he was also
I was
a
also
large and
fat
charged
ass.
kid.
I know. Yeah.
He could
but
say
I broke it on a parking lot, on a parking stump, like those, the things that are supposed to stop your cars. Right. So, because I'm trying to like do the thing, I'm trying to jump up, and I jumped up and I landed on the parking stump and then snap in half. And there's no way my parents were going to replace that skateboard. And there was no way that duct tape fixed it because I tried.
Yeah, because that was the thing. Like I said, with the tape trading, and by the way, it was Chris Miller and Lance Mountain. Those were the doubles for David Spade and Brian Backer for Police Academy 4. Before any skateboard pros listen to this or watch this and be like, "Oh, you got it wrong. I'm going to come to your house and kick your ass," because that's what skateboarders did in the '80s. They were rebels. It was kind of expected that you would crash and burn, skate or die. Like you either did it or you died. So this, and then in TLC was like, or it's TLC. Don't go chasing waterfalls, y'all. Don't get T&C was like the cartoon. It was like the wacky Hanna-Barbera, wacky racers kind of deal, where it's like, oh, it's cute and it's cuddly and it's sweet. It was fun. But then Skate or Die was like rebels, and you're like, ooh, if your board's not all destroyed underneath from going on, curbs or rails or whatever, then you're not a real skater. Like, well, but I want pristine condition.
But then on top of everything with, having like kids like us, then they also made little toys, like skateboarding toys that you could actually play with and not get hurt on. Zach, tell us more about those.
So thank you for teeing me up. Look at how, see, this is the thing about 80s Kids Unite, y'all. We are family. We support each other inside and out. And that sounded really weird, but I didn't mean it to. In 1986, Mattel made the Skateboard Gang.
So, you want to join the gang?
The Skateboard Gang
With Ollie McTwist.
They're hot, they're here, ready to rip. Flat out on top, wigged out, ramped out.
He's totally cool.
Fashion.
He's Wipeout.
They're the masters at fast, rad, raiding, and riding.
The Skateboard Gang.
Gang members and stud ramp each sold separately. You can't beat them, so you might as well join them.
I did.
The Skateboard Gang.
So Skateboard Gang made a bunch of figures and a stunt ramp, which I own still to this day.
Holy cow.
And it's literally it's a skateboard ramp. It's like 3 or 4 pieces of plastic. So you could do tricks with your Skateboard Gang. Now, here's the thing about the Skateboard Gang. They weren't pull back and go. You revved them up and they go. So the characters, the names of the characters were this one is, who is this guy? This is Ollie McTwist. Ollie McTwist. He actually, there were 2 versions. There was a variant that came with the ramp. This is the version of him. There was Jimmy Beachin, right? With his sweet shorts. I loved Ollie McTwist's skateboard. Kind of reminded me of Vision a little bit.
Yes.
There was Eyesore, who was the skate or die kind of punker, right? There was also Roxanne Roller. She's Roller Girl. Be respectful. She's Roller Girl. She had her little Walkman on her side, and then there was
dangerous. Can't be riding with a Walkman in your ears.
My favorite name, Total Lee Cool. Total Lee Cool. And he's actually he's holding a skateboard on the side. And then of course they had a dog called Wipeout, the cool dog. There was always a cool dog, right?
It's always like Wipeout.
Yeah, Wipeout, the cool dog. So the cool thing about the Skateboard Gang
was
Poochie.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. Yeah.
And underneath they had, art, like decorated bottoms of their skateboards.
God, 80s art was so great. We live in such horribly drab times. Bring back 80s colors and everything. That's so cool.
That's for the eyesore guy.
I love it.
I'm buying him.
Yeah, so these actually go for a lot of money on eBay now, which is like, oh, it's a good investment.
It's Bodie's college money. Put it away, Zach. Stop playing with them.
Stop playing with yourself over there. So you rev these up, right? You don't pull them back. You rev them up, and then they go. But what is wild about these? I don't know the mechanics. I'm not a toy maker. What was wild about these is they would spin around. They would do they would sometimes flip. They would turn midway. I'm like, how the heck does that happen? These were, I dare I say, one of the coolest like interactive toys back in the day. They were so much fun. So you rev them up on the ramp, and they literally would go up the ramp, right, and then come down, and then would like do a flip or something. It was insane.
That's so cool. That's really cool.
Anyways, there wasn't really a lot of like marketed skateboard toys, but you got like the California Raisins on skateboards, like the PVC figures, or Smurfs on skateboards, Garfield on skateboard, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on skateboards.
Didn't they have like fingerboards where it was just the board and
like
then you
Tech
could
Deck.
Yeah, and then you could like flip them with your fingers, and I was like, what is going on here? Like, you know, like I remember those as a kid. I didn't have those. I didn't have the what you just showed off or anything, but I do remember the existence of those fingerboard things.
Tech Deck.
Is that what they were called? Tech Decks?
I think Tech Decks didn't come out until like maybe the 90s.
Okay.
If it came out in the 80s, it was really early on, like later on. They also made bikes, you know, and I'm like, but you don't, where's the figure for it? Like, I love these because it had a figure with it.
Yeah, because the figures, half the fun is the figure and the way they look and everything.
But I think that's the whole, it's the aesthetic of the whole thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got the guy, he's the character. He looks like he could be on the cover of T&C.
Yeah. This is the guy who kicks your ass, actually.
That's what's his name? He looks like the guy from Police Academy. He looks like not David Spade.
Brian Backer.
Brian Backer. He looks like Brian
Lance
Backer.
Mountain, I think. I mean, I think this guy, Ollie McTwist might have been based on a real skateboard character. I'm thinking he was.
I think the eyesore, he looks like he fits in Skate or Die. Like, you know, it's like he looks like he fits in that. Yeah.
Totally does.
The colors are amazing. I love it.
Yeah, these are so these are sought after collector items now, obviously, but skateboard culture was everywhere. It was everywhere. Yeah. Cartoons, movies, comic books. There was a like I said, the Ninja Turtles were on skateboards, right?
Oh yeah, they had one. Didn't they, Wayne? There was a skateboard one, wasn't there?
There was Skating Mikey, and because I know that because I lost the draft when we had our action figure draft. Greg
that's why I asked you, because I listened to that episode. Yeah,
and eliminated Skating Mike from my roster. I couldn't get him, but you know what? Another famous cartoon skater that doesn't get any love is Baby Kermit from the Muppet Babies, and his McDonald's toy is him on that red skateboard. And I had that into high school. Like, I had that little guy, and that was during the Great Purge when I graduated and went to college and came back home and found my room to be a sewing room, Mom. And
wow, I'm so sorry about that.
And I was like, I was not involved in this purge. But again, even Baby Kermit, you know, he's like, hey, I'm gonna ride on the skateboard and like doing his thing. That stuff was everywhere. Everything was, you know, a skating version. You had like, you know, even in cartoons and stuff, if they weren't an actual skater, there was a scene somewhere in some cartoon where they accidentally got on, you know, a skateboard and were taken off.
And hilarity ensued.
Oh gosh. But again, it's like, even I think even in the Police Academy toys, there was like a skateboard. There was one of the guys or something.
Was it like Tackleberry or something was on the skateboard?
Have been, yeah, because it was like, and
or
those
Zed.
figures were
I think it might have been Zed.
Yeah, I love those figures. Those toys are, you know, are great. But like, I think one of them, came with a skateboard accessory, and
I think you're right.
But now there's gonna be a sub collection going on. I'm gonna have to find every skating character.
Wayne's like literally going on eBay as we speak and ordering these things. Where'd it go? It's just there.
I was this close to buying eyesore, and so now I'm gonna have to keep finding them. I was hoping to make a live purchase on air.
Y'all remember the Get Along Gang? You remember the Get Along Gang? Get Along Gang, Get Along Gang.
Holy crap!
So,
yeah.
There was a moose, and he had a big M. He was kind of like the Michigan U of M sweater.
Yeah.
But he had the skateboard in the modified skateboard in Back to the Future that Marty McFly, when he goes back to the 50s, the little kid is on the box thing. It's like a scoot. he had that thing, which
took the handlebars off of it. And...
let's be honest, if you had a scoot back in the day, you were getting your scoot kicked because you were a dork, you know?
I had a scooter back in the day.
Were you? Didn't you? You said it. You were a dork.
You all know I was a dork. Yes. I loved it. I also had a pogo ball. We got to talk about those one of these days.
We will do a future episode on that. But this is getting me thinking, because we did our last month was bike culture. This month is skate culture. We might have to do a surf culture one in August just to round out the summer.
I can talk boogie boards if we do a surf culture for sure.
Yeah, that would be in July. So maybe we'll do a surf culture episode in July.
Yeah. Do it. We got it. It's got to be the trifecta. Got to finish it out. You know,
a very distinct skimboard incident that I still remember.
Perfect. There it is.
There we go. So coming soon, y'all. And again, everyone watching and listening, put in the comments. Were you a skater? Were you a wannabe? Were you a poser? Yeah, like what was your favorite skate movie or skate culture? Skate music that came out in the 80s. It was like, that's where punk rock for me really was coming out. You know, bands like Black Flag, you know, that my brother was listening to, Red Hot Chili Peppers. I was like, oh, these Red Hot Chili Peppers was in Thrashin', you know, that was one of their first appearances back in the day. That to me was like what skateboarding was. It was rebellion, you know, and it was smaller than a bike. You could take it with you. You could put it in your backpack, right? And you could run away from the cops if they were chasing you. Not that happened to me, but it definitely, I think, happened to my brother at one point.
And then you start seeing signs popping up at the strip malls and stuff, like no skateboarding and stuff like that, you know?
Because people would do that. You'd skateboard through the mall.
And then I had the t-shirt. This is the funniest thing. The kid who really didn't skateboard had the t-shirt that said skateboarding's not a crime. And
well, that's good. No, you're supportive. You're supporting the other skateboarders, even though you can't skateboard yourself.
Me and my broken in half skateboard couldn't do it, you know, but skateboarding's not a crime.
You're an advocate. You're an advocate. You're an ally. You're an ally.
Did you get teased? Did kids like grill you on that? Because that was like such an 80s thing, right? Like, oh yeah, what kind of skateboard you got, huh?
I was a funny kid who was good at insults, and so it was one of those things where like if you mess with me, you got it right back. And so it was kind of like, you know, if you threaten my lack of skateboarding skills, I would threaten your home life. And so it'd be like I'd be like, oh yeah, let me see your snacks, you know.
Maybe it was a California thing, because I just got teased incessantly if I wore a sports jersey, like, oh yeah, name 5 players on the team, and I'm like, I just like the logo.
I was the leave him alone kid. Zach. Like everybody would be like,
go back to the old episode.
Don't mess with Wayne, leave him alone. You know, that kind of, because I was like a good friend. So it was like, you know, it was like my bodyguard, but like in reverse. I was, you know, I was around everybody else.
You would have kept the peace.
I could draw, and I would draw boobs and everything. So everyone just liked me. All the guys liked me. I got along with every guy group because it was just, hey, you can draw good boobs. All right, let's see them. There we go.
See, this is our very own version of this is our get along gang right here.
It is.
I gotta tell you that the most recent update I have for you guys is that Eyesore apparently is the most rare, because I can't find him on eBay. But if I wanted to buy the blonde girl, rock and rollin' queen, Roxanne Roller, there's like 1 million of her on eBay, and they're only like about $10. And so,
yeah.
And then next to him is Jimmy B. Chin. But anyway, I'm holding out for an Eyesore. By the way, took me a second, spelled letter I, SOAR.
Oh, okay.
Oh, like he takes off. Oh, it's
like
what do you call that? A double entendre? Is that what that is?
Yes, that would be it. So anyway, but
Diallo's not here, so he's our grammar guy. I don't know.
No, so I did not make a purchase online live. So I was hoping.
I'm sure your wife is very happy about that.
Go find out how much the ramp costs, because that is definitely it's like literally just a big piece of plastic.
Somebody's definitely 3D printing that and like selling those.
You scan that baby once.
I guarantee you there's a 3D print out there available for that thing.
I mean,
$250. $250 in box mint.
I mean, I have the box still, so
do you really?
That's folded up.
There you go.
Well, Zach's is worth about $5 now.
Yeah, it's seen better days. Hey, I passed it on to Bodie. Bodie, what, Daddy? Why can't I go to college? Because you play with my toys. That's why.
You played with all the money that you were gonna.
Yeah. Okay, so again, this is to tease our upcoming interview with Robert McGinley, which will be dropping a week after this episode. Shredder Orpheus. If you live in the Southern California, LA area, he's going to be doing a screening later on this year of his movie. Someone in this group might be doing the Q&A. So shocker. Anyways,
I'm flying up. No,
yeah, come on, Santa Monica. Robert McGinley is really cool. Like we touched, really toe dipped on it. Thrashin, Gleaming the Cube, were those two specific skateboard movies. Did you see either of those back in the day, Wayne?
I saw both. They were both kind of like on the rotation. Remember that infamous after school program I would go to? And so
yes,
I was I was indoor kid. So I was either trading Garbage Pail Kids or we were watching whatever movie was on the cart. And so that cart would get, loaded up with things like Thrashin and Gleaming the Cube is still the thing that I say anytime somebody talks about skateboarding. And so like if they say skateboarding, it's a vocal stim that I'll say is like literally go Gleaming the Cube, and that's it. And then people they'll either hear it or they won't. But yeah, those two were staples, and then they were on rotation. So like after I was done with the video store and I went off to college, I worked at a surf shop. And at the surf shop, dude did not surf. Dude worked at the surf shop.
Wow.
And then they doubled as a skate shop. Like they had like a little skate corner. And we always had a TV running, and it was either surf videos or skateboard videos. And so you see all that stuff. And it was just all the Johnny Knoxville stuff and all that before they were on MTV and all that. That's what was there.
Wayne, which one do you recommend? If I've not seen either Gleaming the Cube or Thrashin', which one do you like better?
I think Thrashin' has the better montages, right?
It does. Oh man, there's a song by the band. So Corey, do you remember on Podcasting After Dark we broke down Hidden, right?
Yeah.
And there's a band in that movie called The Truth, and they have a song in Thrashin' called Playground, and there's a montage scene where they're skateboarding in Hollywood down the Hollywood Boulevard Walk of Fame.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
It's a great montage.
It's just a better visual, I think. I think that's I think if you were Thrashin' is a movie that was made on the West Coast, Gleaming the Cube is more like the non-cool kids. That's
okay.
That's why I keep saying Gleaming the Cube every time I
mean, Gleaming the Cube is also a thriller and Gleaming the Cube has a great opening scene where they're looking for pools and they're surfing in pools and in the opening of the movie, and a great song to open the movie. But Thrashin' is to Rad what Gleaming the Cube is to Quicksilver. Like, both bike skateboard movies, but
got a story too.
Yeah, there's a thriller. Thrashin's about a coming of age. It's Karate Kid. He's like Cobra Kai is the Daggers. Robert Russler from Nightmare on Elm Street 2.
Yeah, love that dude. Yeah.
Anyways, I agree with you, Wayne. Thrashin' is the one to go with.
Okay. I have it in my queue. Amazon Prime's always great about cult 80s movies. They're all on there. So I'll just put it in my queue and check it out. Cause I also, enjoy just seeing, LA in the 80s and stuff like that. So I'm down.
Such, we this is a tease for, so we did 80s Kids Unite in July. So yeah, August will be the surf one. We'll come back to this in August because July will be our Sword and Sorcery episode with Steve Kostansky, which we already recorded, director of Deathstalker. But he brought up a really good point in that, talking about Masters of the Universe. I'll just tease this, talking about how in the 80s when we saw Masters of the Universe, we're like, we want to see more of Eternia. But now we're like, but the 80s it's so nostalgic now. So we look back with that lens now, and we're like, oh, it's actually really more enjoyable now.
It's almost like a fantasy realm in and of itself, 80s,
right.
Contemporary 80s. Yeah, it was actually a really good point. Made me want to revisit Master. I mean, I watch that movie once every few years anyways, but it made me want to revisit it with like sort of that perspective, because I was like, even when I watched it currently, I'm always like, go back to Eternia. But no, it's a good point. I mean, it's still 80s, fashion and stuff like that.
So
and
good.
God bless the 80s. God bless it.
Well, and I will say this to further
jamming on the one.
I will say for more nostalgic fun coming on up this summer, Thrashin turns 40 this year, or turned 40 already, depending on when it got released. Here in SoCal, there's going to be a big Thrasher reunion of a lot of the skateboarders and actors from the movie, including Robert Russler, who plays Hook in that. I don't know. You can go to, actually, I'll put a link to the Instagram page in regards to that. It's an 80s nostalgic site, but they're putting on a big event, live band, screening of Thrashin, merchandise that's going to be all Thrashin related, or most of it. It's going to be really rad. It's going to be, I think, in August. So that's coming soon to celebrate Thrashin.
So much stuff, just having anniversaries this year. We're in the role of it, right? And so it's like in a couple of years, it'll be the 40th anniversary of T&C Surf. You know what I mean?
Right.
And all that stuff. And but it's so cool to be able to go back and celebrate that, especially with that 50th birthday coming up, right?
50th birthday of this is my birthday month.
That's right.
We're releasing this right before. This is either right before or right after my birthday.
This is it. You know what you need? You need a mint in box ramp from
No, I'm good. Trust me. But I will say this is celebrating its 40th anniversary too, because Skateboard Gang came out in 1986. So there you go.
Oh man, I love it.
Okay, everybody, let us know in the comments. What did you have? What did you want? Bada bing, bada boom. If you
what did we miss?
Yeah, what did you miss? If you got a topic for us and you want to be a part of the show and the fun, support our Patreons. Patreon links are in the show notes. It's patreon.com/podcastingafterdarks, patreon.com/$2 late fee, bada bing, bada boom. Let us know what topics you want to cover. We're next month, sword and sorcery, and then surfing for August. How about that?
It's wild. It's why make sure you check out Flip City Podcast as well. Wayne's awesome and puts on a great show over there.
Greg's my co-host on that, and we just had a blast. I think we're deep into the summer now, so we will have done our anniversary episode, which is typically Star Wars, and so we have to do. I say typically. We had a 1-year anniversary last year. It was Star Wars. 2 year, it's gonna be Star Wars again.
Great.
And then and so it's always something fun. Always trying to throw a gimmick at Greg.
Nice.
Well, Greg is a night boy in thoughts because he hasn't been on our show, but maybe we can get him on down the road on our show.
That'd be a treat.
Yeah, but until then, just go thrashing.
Stay radical.
Yeah, there you go. Don't be a poser.
Gleam the cube.
There it is.
Yeah.
Just when you think there's no one around who's caring, along comes a friend who offers a hand in sharing, then things start looking fine. Sometimes tears and sorrow are all the things you've got. Just when you think you're all by yourself, you're not.
80s Kids Unite is brought to you by Hungry Hungry Hippos, the loudest tabletop game in history. And by Nickelback, Zach's favorite band. If you'd like to suggest topics for this show, go to the Patreon of either $2 late fee or Podcasting After Dark, or both. All links are in the show notes. We love you.